Howdy folks, Uncle Bumble here. Today I'd like to take some time and talk to you about quality versus cost and how you don't always have to spend a lot to get a good quality item. Let's get started. Alright, so I guess we'll start with this axe. I think I've ranted about axes a couple times in some videos. I know I've did it once in one of Modern Refugees videos. And I made mention about axes and hatchets in my backpack video, but I'm going to start with that because this just seems the most ridiculous to me, so let's start there. I watch a lot of YouTube. That's the television that I consume. I don't watch a lot of sitcoms and that kind of stuff. I like to be educated with my entertainment, so and a lot of the YouTubers I watch are bushcrafters or homesteaders or just people that tear stuff apart so the rest of us silly fools can find out how they work, that kind of stuff. But a lot of them talk about Gransford Brooks and Weatherling's axes. I can talk, just usually not in front of a camera. But you look at these axes and they're like $125 to $180 for an axe. I'm sure you've heard this already before. Seems ludicrous to me. Just blows my mind to pay that much for an axe with a wood handle. And let me talk about why it blows my mind. If that is your first axe, because a lot of these guys, it's another thing that I hear a lot is buy once, cry once. Okay. If you've got the money, go for it. But if it's your first axe and you've never swung an axe a lot, a couple overstrikes where you miss the wood with the head completely and you start smacking this on another piece of wood, I don't care if it's $150, she's going to blow apart. So, if you got the money to buy $150 axes left and right, go for it. But if it's your first axe and you're learning how to split wood, and I would feel a little better destroying $25 axes until I got it right. But it's your money, like I said, spend it how you want. So that's my feeling on it. You can get, this is a $25, $30 axe, and if you know what to look for, you can find a good quality axe at that price point. Not to say that this axe doesn't have some issues. So let's kind of go over a couple of things. I guess first, how do you know what to look for? Let me see if I can get this where you guys can see. You can kind of see the grain there. It's running at about a 60-degree angle to the blade. So if you took and drew a line through the center of the handle to the tip of the blade, that's the orientation that you want your grain running. You want your grain running parallel to that. And like I said, this is about a 45 to 60 degree, and there you can kind of see it better. It kind of kicks off at the end at about a 45. But most axe makers will tell you even 45 is still a decent orientation for the grain. But like I said, the more parallel, the better. So you go through, and if you're going to the hardware store, just start picking axes and looking at handles. That's the first thing you can look at to even know whether it's worth wasting your time on the rest of the stuff. The next thing you're going to want to look at is how the axe is hung. This one, there's not a whole lot. It doesn't hurt to have extra handles sticking out of the top because it swells out and it just holds the head on better. But this one seems to be hung pretty well. You can see by the darker color wooden center, that's your wood wedge, and then they drove this round circular wood wedge, or circular metal wedge, in there to push the wood in all directions to friction fit against all the surface of the eye. That's what this hole in the axe is called, against the eye of the axe. So it's hung pretty decent up there. Another spot to look is where the head, where the head and the handle meet. You want to look around and make sure there's no big gaps in there. Another thing to look for is there's a little bit of it there, wood piling up or being, you could see where it's too snug, so it's shoving some material out of the way of the head. This one's not horrible, but like it's 35. I don't know. I think it was a $30 axe. I don't remember. I bought it one day just in shopping. Actually, we were doing a wedding and I had time to kill, and I was in shopping and found this and grabbed it. Not too many people buy an accent tux, but this guy did. But all that's pretty decent on this axe. The orientation of the head is a little off. It's kind of kicked out like this. You would want it a little more this way, but it's not horrible. It's something that I can live with. You got all these stampings on here. If you really wanted to, you could take and just scrape the varnish and all the stampings off. This is a Trooper axe, American hickory handle. But the other thing to look for, and where this axe has most of its issues, is in the blade. I don't know how well it's going to be able to pick up, but it's not exactly straight. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's dull. It is. But this axe I kind of bought as a project. I'm going to make an axe mask for it. That was what I was going to do today, but cards just weren't aligned for that. But this axe needs a lot of sharpening. A lot of reprofiling up here, which is okay in my book, because even that $150 axe, or those aren't going to hold an edge forever. Sooner or later you're going to have to sharpen them, and get practice on this one before you mess up that one. When you buy this one, you can still afford to buy the equipment to sharpen said axe. So there'll be more videos with this axe, and I'll show you guys how to reshape and get an actual edge on here. But it's not, it's a good project axe. It's a good axe. You could go to a flea market and get a head that's all rusted up, hit it with the wire wheel. Try not to get it too hot because you'll ruin the temper in it. But you can clean it up, resharpen it up, rehang it, and you've got a good quality axe. You just gotta pick through the handles at the hardware store to find one that's in good shape. But I like this axe. It's got good size down here for my hands. I like the palm swell up here, so I wanted to choke up and do a little fine work with the head. Like you could get it sharp enough, make your own feather sticks with your axe instead of having to have a knife. So, like I said, future project. But there's one other thing that I forgot to tell you about when looking for good quality grain in the handle. You'll see the circles here. It's called grain runout. Well, this is being tapered down, so you're going to have some grain run out, but you're going to want to look for grain run out down the rest of the handle. So where, kind of focus a little. This one doesn't have a whole lot of grain run out. There is some grain run out here, but that's mainly because of the profile of the handle. You're going to have grain run out there, but it's pretty, like I said, pretty good quality hand. I guess the biggest thing, some people will tell you that there should be no heartwood in an axe handle, and this has got it. You can tell that this has it by the separation in color here. I've heard both ways. One of the guys that I watched a couple of his videos of recently, the Art of Craftsmanship, does a lot of axe making and knife making, but they're ramble on. He's made a lot of handles, and in his experience, he hasn't seen where it made a difference. So, but there's that. Okay, so next we get into knives. You can spend a pile of money on knives. There's custom knife makers that'll make you, custom knife, $700. I'm sure probably even more. And a lot of them. Guys talk about paying $300 for their custom knives, and they're beautiful knives. Don't get me wrong, but you don't need a $300 knife to go out and play in the woods. If you're just getting started and you're not sure if something you want to do, a good place to start, or a good company to start with, is Mora Kniv, I believe is how you pronounce that. Most people are just going to say Mora Knives. Mora makes oodles of different kinds of knives or sizes and styles. This is a companion. I think it was like a $20 or $30 knife. I got it as a present. That was a wish list thing, but I don't remember the exact price on it. But it was cheap. It was inexpensive. They come sharp as the dickens. Come in this plastic sheath, you know, I've never heard anybody having these breaking on them, but and it's in there good. I don't really see where you lose the knife out of there. Problem I have with it is I'm left-handed, and so if I wanted to use it, the knife would have to go back in the sheath backwards all the time. So, but anyways, it's a fixed blade rat tail knives, I believe. So that means that none of the tang of the knife really slims down like a rat's tail, basically, in the handle, and it's not the strongest. What you really want, if you're going to be batoning your knife, is a full tang knife. Now, if you've got this and an axe, you don't need to baton your knife, so this will work just fine for you. Like I said, Mora makes oodles of different style knives, carving knives, fillet knives, you name it. Mora probably makes a knife for that. I think they have a full tang knife now. It's like the Kansball or something like that. Don't quote me. It's like $80, $90. Comes with their plastic sheath set up with some different. Their sheaths are kind of different, but you know, that's something that you can fix on your own. There's many companies that make custom sheaths for them. You make your own custom sheath. I digress. They're good, inexpensive knives, good quality. You know, a lot of people. I've never heard anybody talk bad about a Mora knife. Dave Canterbury has the Pathfinder School, and you know he's done hundreds of classes. And they have a list of acceptable or of items that you need and acceptable ones to fill that role so that it doesn't break on you and you can do what you need to pass the class. And the Mora Bushcraft Black is a $50 knife with a rat tang that, you know, they've had in many classes, and it's held up to the abuse that they get put through for that. So this kind of talks for the quality of the Mora knife. So I mean, that's a good, inexpensive option when it comes to knife. What I have as a little more pricey option is a Bear Grylls survivor knife from Gerber. I got this. This is a Gen 1 Bear Grylls knife. I'm not a fan of Bear Grylls anymore. Maybe back then I was, before we all found out to do staying in the hotel room. So there's the knife. It's a good knife. I like the knife. I've seen hundreds of videos of this knife just getting the snot beat out of it. My biggest complaint about the knife is those serrations. If you like serrations, you know, hey, good for you. I don't care for serrations. Knives are all about preferences. I just don't prefer serrations, but it's 1/4 inch thick. That spot right there is for striking the ferrule rod that comes on the sheath. I've got tied on there. It's in really good, but just in case you don't want to lose your ferrule rod. Sheath center direct and ambidextrous, easy for me to say. It comes with a diamond sharpener on the back. And then on the back of that piece of nylon, there's some survival tips, I guess, you know, how to be rescued and whatnot. The plastic sheaths kind of, you know, is pretty decent. I like how you can flip the blade left-handed, right-handed. But this nylon thing's kind of weird. There's a strap here where you can put it on your belt and hang it, or you could put it, I think they call that scout carry, you know, you can put it on your belt that way, or on a pack, or, you know, you can mount it however you want. But that's one thing. And then you've got this Velcro. It's kind of hard here to hold it, but this really holds well on basically kind of like the hilt of the knife. I don't know what you'd really call that on there, but, you know, anyways. It's not coming out of there. You've got holes in it so you could lash it, make an extended long pointy stick with a blade, you know, make spear out of it. But yeah, it's good quality knife. The one thing that these Gen 1s have with them is they've got this pommel. It's really nice knurling on the pommel for just beating the snot out of 10 steaks and stuff, I guess. But this pommel isn't connected to the blade. There's like a 1/4 inch of separation with like this rubber handling, so this is kind of floating out there. So if you started really pounding on this, you'll end up breaking it out of the handle. I watched a couple videos on, and Gerber really never said why they did that. I guess kind of the thought was maybe if you're cutting live wire and you got a big hand like I have, if you cut a live wire up here, you don't get the little tingly sensation through the pummel back here. But the new gens, it's solid. It's all one piece. This is connected to the handle now, and you don't have to worry about that. I just have to remember not to beat on things with this one. So this I think was like $50 when I got it. So it's pretty nice setup. You know, you got a sharpener and a ferro rod all in one. I think I was looking on Amazon at these, and they're like $35 now. So you know, not a bad price for a knife. I have a Schrade knife that I paid $30 for. It's really nice and beefy. The biggest thing with knives is if there's a knife you're looking at, I'm sure you could probably find at least 50 reviews of that knife on YouTube. So go on YouTube, watch those reviews, you know, go on different sites and see, you know, about written up reviews, and just do your research. Your research on the metal, the steels that it's made out of. You know, high carbon has its benefits versus stainless. I don't have a stainless one up here. I know what I'm pointing, but stainless holds the edge better. It's harder to put an edge on. You don't have to worry about rust. High carbon steel is easier to sharpen. Doesn't hold the edge as well, but you can use a piece of flint to create sparks off of your blade itself. So you wouldn't need a ferro rod if you're willing to scrape metal off your blade. But you know, those are the kinds of things that, you know, you need to learn about before you go buying a knife, and you take the time to learn those things. You can get a good, inexpensive knife that's going to last you. So, all right. So the next thing I have up here is some multi-tools, and it's multi-tools that are up here for kind of two reasons. Number one, kind of show you that sometimes you do need to spend a little bit of money to get a good quality item. Like, I think these are $487. They are per Walmart multi-tools. They have their place. You know, if you got a young kid that, you know, you want to get into the bushcraft or just doing some stuff outdoors, you want to give them a tool, this is perfect. They lose it, you're out $5, you know. You can kind of teach them the lesson of responsibility to keep track of their tools, but it's not going to really hurt your pocket too bad when you replace it eventually. That being said, she's pretty sketch. All this metal feels pretty soft. I wouldn't imagine it would hold up to much abuse. This serration, get the serration on camera. It doesn't really. I think it's minor. The edge looks kind of rounded. It cut rope. But yeah, it's. Wouldn't want to risk my life, depending my life on that. You know, like, you could probably pry off pop or beer bottle caps with this, but to go through a can, to open canned goods with that, you're gonna be hard pressed. It's gonna be a chore. So, you know, that's kind of my example of sometimes you need to spend a little bit of money. You know, $5 isn't gonna get you a decent quality tool like this. And also, if this is yours, if you left these at my house, they're here, you're welcome to come get them. I didn't buy those, they just showed up one day. But the other reason I have these multi-tools out here is to kind of talk about how I got these. This is Super Tools 300. I think I talked about it quite a bit on my backpack video. There's a lot of reviews on the Super Tools 300, so you can watch mine or you can find somebody else's. But what I really want to talk about this is how I got these. I got these at Walmart on clearance for $40. It's at $89. I think they still get them today on Amazon. Leatherman still makes these. What was I saying? These were Gerbers, or these are Leathermans. Anyways, they still make these. Walmart decided they didn't want to carry them anymore, so I walked over to the cases one day, seen them for $40, and decided they needed to be mine, and I'm glad I did it. Nice, heavy quality set. But what I really want to talk about more than just these is the fact that this is the perfect time of year to find quality stuff at a good price. Right now, our camping section at my local Walmart is going on stuff on clearance. So if there's something over there that you had your eye on, you know, it might be on clearance, might not, no guarantees, but you know, sit there and haul around until you think you better pick it up, because you know, they mark it down, and the next thing you know, it's gone. So, you know, but if you didn't want it at full price, maybe it's worth picking up at half price. And just because it's on clearance doesn't mean it's junk. You know, sometimes there's like these really good quality item just wasn't performing well selling at Walmart, so they got rid of it, replace it with something else. But so yeah, you know, that's what I'm trying to say is keep an eye out for your clearance in your stores. You know, Cabela's, the Bargain Cave, and that kind of stuff. Is you can find good quality items on clearance. This shirt, I wore this shirt for a purpose. This shirt was a Columbia shirt. They wanted like $70-$80 for, and I'm not paying $70-$80 for a button-up shirt. I got it for $30 on clearance. It's like a fishing shirt, but I figured it'd be perfect for hiking. It's lightweight. It's vented in the back. It's got like it's like FPS 30 basically value, but it's still nice and airy, so it breathes. So in the summertime, when you're out hiking, you can roll down your sleeves and button your top button up to 11. Keep them mosquitoes out there from trying to suck you dry. Anyways, but you know, that's one of those things. You know, you get a nice. Most people say Columbia shirts are nice quality. I think it's nice quality, but you get it at, you know, a reduced price when it's a little closer to what it's actually worth. You know, so you know, yeah, shop your clearances. Keep an eye on the end of season stuff. You know, and in the fall, sometimes your summertime camping gear will go on clearance, and in the winter, this time of year, your stores are changing their merchandise lines out. So yeah, shop the clearance. All right, so I guess what I'm trying to say, or how I want to conclude the video, is, you know, do your research. You can find good quality stuff at a, you know, relatively affordable price. But that being said, you know, if you got to buy some cheap stuff so you can actually have some gas money to get out there and actually enjoy the woods, by all means do it. You know, you can always upgrade to better quality gear as you go. Sometimes I feel that some of these, you know, YouTubers, especially the ones that when you type in bushcraft, they're the first ones to pop up. You know, they've got a lot of views, they've got some revenue coming in, and they've got sponsorships coming at them. So, you know, they're using that gear sometimes not on their dime, or maybe they're trying to justify why they're paying $300 for, you know, something you can get for $30 that'll last just as long or work just as good. So, that's one of the things to think about. But like I was saying, you know, get out there, enjoy the woods, enjoy the outdoors, and don't let the fact that, you know, you can't afford that high dollar item that they, you know, say you should have hold you back. You know, buy what you can afford and go out and have fun. So this has been Uncle Bumble. You guys have a good one.